All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for our boot camp students. Over the past 2 weeks, we had the pleasure of having join Talent Factory for our 2 weeks boot camp that touched on all tracks, including but not limited to front end, back end, data analysis, product management, AI, and so much more. We are excited to be graduating you from that 2 weeks bootcamp today, and I hope you're excited as well. You can let me know in the chats how happy you are, because I hope that you're happy. So, the purpose of this session today is, of course, to celebrate our beautiful, intelligent students. And we're also going to have an important keynote session from one of our distinguished experts on the call. And we're going to hear from the founder himself on what is next. After this, your foundational 2 weeks training, what would you be expecting? What does Talent Factory have in store for you? So before I call on the founder to give us our opening address, I want you to let us know how the experience has been for you the past 2 weeks. I am going to check the YouTube chats now. Let me know how it has been. What was the highlight for you? What stood out for you during the sessions? And, what did you really, really love about being part of the 2 week session? What did you like about it? Did you make any friends? What were the new things you learned? Please let me know in the live chat. You could drop your comments on YouTube. All right, so moving on, let us virtually clap our hands for the founder as I bring him out to stage. He's going to give us the opening address. Lawrence Adu, are you ready?
Yeah, I am. Thank you,
All right.
Sophia. All right, good day, everyone. It's nice to be here. And yeah, today is really an amazing day for all of us at Talent Factory. Just a minute. Yeah, today is really an amazing day for all of us at Talent Factory. The graduation ceremony of our bootcamp, we started a 2 weeks bootcamp. Of course, we are all aware. We all went through the bootcamp and we just rounded up on Thursday, and today we are having a graduation ceremony. It's something we are all proud of because that's our vision here at Talent Factory. We we are people that are committed to helping other persons to develop tech skills, right? So as young persons, we know the importance of having skills of developing tech skills, not just tech skills, having skills generally, because we're in a world where um, people get jobs, people get paid, not just because of the certificate they get in school or they got in school, but because of what they can offer. So in the job sector, in the business world, when you are being hired, you are not being hired just because you have a first class degree or a PhD or a master's. Most times that is not considered. As a matter of fact, I graduated from a university. I studied mechanical engineering, and since I graduated, I've worked at different companies, I think about 5 or 6 since then, and nobody have asked me for my degree certificate, right? So I'm not saying the degree certificate is it's not important. It's important, of course. It has helped me all of that. So yeah, school has a lot of importance, but beyond school, skills are very important, right? So to be able to get value, to be able to get employment, is important that we have skills. And that's the reason why we set up Talent Factory. And yeah, today we are happy because the journey has begun. We have completed our first milestone, our first achievement of training people for 2 weeks. And this has been, or this was our first attempt. And it was a period of learning. It was a period of putting a structure that we all can benefit from, right? So today we are graduating. The first set that have gone through the boot camp, the 2 weeks training boot camp. But this is not the end. I'm here to say that this is not the end. Like I said, this is just the beginning, right? So Talent Factory is here to ensure that young persons are able to efficiently develop skills. We are starting with tech skills, but even beyond tech skills, we are looking at other skills that people can develop as well, like skills in the business world. Those who want to go into entrepreneurship can also learn on our platform, right? That's where we're headed. And even beyond, we have like a lot of things in the bag, in the pipeline that we're working on, right? So you are all at the right place to be able to learn, to be able to develop your skill set, whatever career you have chosen, whatever career paths you are on, you'll be able to go on this journey with us at Talent Factory to ensure that you become a master, you become a pro, you become an expert, right? So at Talent Factory, believe in excellence. We practice excellence, right? And it's something we are, it's our watchword, and it's something we practice. And we are grooming people who will go out there and be excellent in whatever you are doing, whether you want to be a front-end engineer. We are creating a world where you can actually go out there and be the best front-end engineer, right? So we are looking toward a future where talents that are coming through Talent Factory, or talent that came out through Talent Factory, are world best engineers, world best digital analysts. Data analysts, world best digital marketers, world best graphic designers, world best cybersecurity engineers, world best AI engineers, and so on and so forth, right? So uh, like I mentioned before, you are at the right place. And I want to say congratulations to all those who went through our training, our 2 weeks bootcamp training. It was an amazing period. We were able to learn from each other. We're able to interact. We're able to, I saw some persons make posts about how they even made new friends, right? Which is the way to go when you are learning like this. Is important to make new friends, right? So we're also building a school, beyond just building a school where you can come and learn, you can develop tech skills. We're also building a community. So Talent Factory is actually a community of talent, right? So at Talent Factory, you will find fellow talents that you can relate with, you can interact with, you can find help, you can seek help, and you can also render help, right? So at Talent Factory, our training model is also unique because we don't just give you courses, PDF videos to watch and figure things out by yourself. We have amazing instructors, and a big shout out to our instructors. They did an amazing work through this boot camp. They were really amazing. They are amazing people. They are experts in the field, and they dedicated their time through this training period, this 2 weeks boot camp, to inculcate knowledge to our students, those who enrolled for the boot camp and went through the training. So we appreciate you, our amazing instructors, all that you did throughout this period. We believe that the seed you have sown in the life of these young persons will not be in vain. Years to come, we are going to look back and see that our talents are doing amazing stuff in the industry, right? So maybe to still talk a bit more about what we do at Talent Factory, we are committed to ensuring that young persons, it's not just limited to young persons, but our target, first of all, is young persons, because young persons are leaders of tomorrow, right? So we all know how the years are going. And before you know it, our leaders, those who are at the forefront of leadership today, the nation, even organizations, and so on and so forth, we not have the strength, right, to be able to do those things that they are doing, to lead and all the other things they are doing. They are doing amazing stuff leading us, right? But we are leaders of tomorrow. And it's important that I always say that while waiting for an opportunity, you have to get ready. You shouldn't you shouldn't allow an opportunity to meet you unprepared. And that's one of the things we do at Talent Factory. So we are a group of young persons that are determined to sharpen ourselves, ensure that we're ready for tomorrow when opportunities come. Opportunities could come in the form of a leadership opportunity. You may have to lead in a politics or on a on a political platform. It could be in a business sector, in a job sector. You've been called upon to be maybe the CEO or the head of a department, or anywhere you have been called upon to serve, right? At that point, you shouldn't be trying to figure out things because you won't be very efficient, right? So you won't be very efficient. So, but getting prepared ahead of time ensures that you are able to be ready for that opportunity. And when the opportunity comes in whatever form, I've listed the different opportunities, jobs, you could get referral. And of course, someone like me, my first ever job I got was through a referral. I didn't apply for it. And someone just called me that someone is trying to hire an engineer. Are you available? I said yes. And that's how I got the job. Now, if I wasn't ready at that point, I wouldn't have been able to get a job, even though there was an opportunity, right, for a job. And it was an express platform to be able to get a job, right? But the most important thing is I was ready. And when the job came, I was able to take it, and I delivered so well that the team could not let me go. And I had to like work with them for a while before moving on, right? So we believe that as youth, as young persons, we should be ready for opportunities. Of course, opportunities are going to come in our lives at various points. There's a popular saying I've always hear people say that opportunity comes but once, right? So opportunity comes once in a while. It's not every time you see opportunities, and it will be unfortunate if an opportunity comes and you are not ready for it. So at Talent Factory, we make you ready for opportunities that will come ahead. I've mentioned before that as young persons, we are leaders of tomorrow. We'll be taking up leadership positions at various places, various platforms, whether political leadership, in organizations, in businesses, and so on and so forth. Now, are you ready? Do you have the skill set that is needed for you to perform excellently well in this in that capacity? All right. So yeah, that is what Talent Factory is all about. We are a group of young persons that are determined to sharpen our skills, develop our talent. Yeah, at Talent Factory, we make talent. Maybe to keep it simple, I will say that. And our vision is to create a world where everybody is a master in their craft. So whatever craft you've chosen, whether it's back-end engineering, front-end engineering, graphic design, product management, cybersecurity, cloud computing, data analysis, AI, entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and so on and so forth. We have a lot of skill sets, a lot of career paths that we train talent for, right? So whatever career you have chosen for yourself, at Talent Factory, we are creating a world where everybody is a master in their craft. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, and to our amazing students that have gone through this 2 weeks bootcamp. A big congratulations to you for the energy you have put into this, or the energy you put into this to go through this 2 weeks training. It was not easy. I understand that a lot of you are busy, maybe with work or school, school training and all that, but you were still able to make out time to attend this training, and it's something we really appreciate. And before I leave this platform, I still want to appreciate our amazing instructors. They did very well. Thank you so much, our instructors, and thank you again, our students that went through the bootcamp. And congratulations once again. Enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everyone, please put your hands together for the founder of Talent Factory. That was a beautiful opening speech, and he gave us a lot of information. So coming up next immediately, we did the work. We want to tell you what the future of work is like for tech, especially for those of you just starting out your career. And we brought in Francis Ocholi. He's a senior software engineer and a technical recruiter at Andela. He's in the best position to give us all the tips and everything that you need to know about this. So please, let's virtually put our hands together for him as he takes over. Thank you. Over to you, Francis.
Hi, Sophia. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, Lawrence, and hi, everyone. I wish I could see your faces, but yeah, saying
Hi,
hi.
Francis. Good to have you here.
Um, yeah. So it's great what you guys are doing at Talent Factory once again. I really appreciate the effort, the team, the work, and the dedication, which is most important, right? To empower people, to equip people, people for the future, that's really the hard part, from 0 to 1. And then we hope when they move on, they can be able to, use that momentum of what they've been taught to equip themselves, right? That's why they say it's talent, talent factory. And then we will work on the talent, and then you can transform your talent into, different skills. So I have the privilege of talking about the future of tech jobs. I happen to be a software engineer with over 10 years of experience. I usually say 10 years. It looks sweet that way, but I think about 11 or so. But it's good to just say about 10 years of experience, one of those things. And so to keep it simple, the future of tech jobs is it's funny. That's the way to put it. You might find, at least to me, based on the indexes or indices I'm seeing, based on some trends I'm seeing, there are a few things I have come to conclusion with, right? And I'm just going to share my thoughts. That's basically what I'm about to do today, just my thoughts. In the end, I can't 100% tell you what it looks like. It will look like, but I can prove to you it will be in this trend. Okay. So before we go ahead, I will just try to paint a picture for us. How many of us know SpaceX? We know NASA, these companies that build rockets. And they have different teams. So I took the liberty of writing out all the teams that create a rocket. So I will just speed read. They're the core teams, they're the support teams, they're the leadership teams, and then these three teams work hand in hand, right? So the core teams are people like the propulsion engineers, sorry, structures at avionics, software engineers and material engineers. Okay. The support team are people like that do quality assurance, safety and reliability, ground operations, launch operations, mission control, supply chain procurement, test and integration support teams. Leadership team are people that, program managers, system engineers, vehicle integrations, mission planning, regulatory and compliance teams. Okay. Now all these teams work together to create a rocket. All right. Now, you would ask, how many rockets do they create like in a year or something like that, right? So, to be honest, like one, two, right? That's basically it, unless they do the prototypes, okay? But it's something that people come together, get work done, and then they go back, okay? It's like a gig, GEEK, right? It's something I just come, I work in the team, I do and get back. So if you see the way they assemble these teams, it's most times not the same people that build rocket A that build rocket B. Okay. So when there's rocket A and there's this specification, they get the best hands that know how to do this thing. They come and build it and they're done and they're out of here. The next, they go get the next set of team. Maybe sometimes they might, it might be fortunate to work on both, projects, but it's not usually the same all the time. Okay. So let's assume I'm a software engineer that worked on rocket A and then there's no work for me on rocket B. Okay. I'm not going to work on rocket B, so I have to go and get other software engineering work to do, right? Where I'm going to here is that one of the trends, which is very prominent, I'm seeing today, is that we're moving into what they call the gig economy, right? Gig economy meaning that you assemble a team, get work done, and it's over, right? Everybody goes back and then you find your next project. And this is becoming a real reality where you see companies are not wanting to hold employees for 3, 4, 5 years anymore. They just want to, it's mostly project based, all right? It's just, hey, come, we have this stuff done. We hire 10 people or we hire 20 people, we're done. Fire half of them or more, and then you're out to the next gig. Okay. Now, what this means, which is my first point, is that you have to be a very good team player, right? You have to know how to adapt to teams. You have to know how to work with different types of people. You have to know how to understand people. You have to know how to be a real team player. And one of the most important value as an individual should have for that is what we call empathy. I'm not going into all that, but just understand my first point here, what I see is I think we're going into did I say GEEK? GIG economy. Gig economy, sorry, not geek economy, gig, like let's say gig economy. All right. The next thing is that the future of work is going to be data driven for the most part. All right. So what that means is we've already seen it with a lot of AI here, AI there. A lot of people have that on their mind, but mostly we're going to, have a lot of data and data related roles, aspect, AI, right? Because we have there's the AI boom, quote unquote, right? So you see that data engineers, you will not just only be data engineers, people that know how to clean data, translate data or whatever, transform data. That won't be it. Data engineers, the value of a good data engineer will be somebody who is also a software engineer. You have to have both software engineering skills and data engineering skills as well. So that means you see more software engineers learning data engineering and you see data engineers learning software engineering, right? It's going to be almost, the line is going to kind of blow out because there's going to be so much demand for data engineering that software engineers are going to have to learn data engineering, right? That's something I see as the future of work. So what that tells me and what that tells you is if I'm a software engineer, I should spend time learning software engineering, be really good at it, and then also learning data engineering. It's very important. I think it's going to be very, 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 it's going to be increasingly important as we go on from where we are today. Another thing again I see is we are moving into a time where people are building what you call the open financial system, right? It's what people call the economy, the global economy. They believe it's what they call the on-chain economy as well. All right. Now, the on-chain economy, the online economy, however you want to call it, is economy of the people, right? Not is a democratized economy, not an economy that is characterized by central authority. All right. So where are we going to with that? You would see a lot of blockchain integration with real life projects. You see a lot of the lines between your normal, fintech Web2 financial systems and Web3 will gradually blow out. And then you might be using your normal money, not knowing it's doing some blockchain thing at the back, and then blockchain also, you might be using crypto and you can be using it as fiat or something, right? You would see a lot of that kind of interplay. And I saw a few people, especially interestingly, CZ said the currency for AI is is crypto, right? So where I'm going to is you would see companies really throwing their weight behind these two spaces, and then people really moving there and trying to build, something around it. So yeah, we are hopeful that money would make more sense than it is right now. There's a lot that we can do to make our financial systems better. I don't want to go into all that. But one thing I'll tell you right now is this, so that you understand how terrible it is. Um, let's say I'm working with a company called CNN, and then CNN pays me money. CNN is taxed on that money and they pay it to me, okay? And then me again, I want to use that money and give it to somebody else again. I'm taxed. Then I pay it to someone. I go to grocery stores, I'm buying money, I'm buying food, and then I'm being taxed on that money again. And then when the grocery store gets the money before they use it again, they are being taxed again on that money. So the central authority is making so much money, or is owning so much of that money, but it feels like you have the money. It's like you have the money, but you don't have the money, right? Because it keeps, and in the end, if you see how much percentage of that money was actually yours, it's really ridiculous, right? So people are like, why do we have such an financial system that is centralized and all that stuff? And people want to build, the global economy where it's owned by people, Of course, the government is going to make their taxes, but not at that crazy rates. Yeah, so I'll just jump on to the next point. There's a lot of talking points on that, right? And I like talking about money. It's a very important thing, right? The next thing is the style of work is going to be truly global. I believe it's going to be truly global, where there's no difference between a Nigerian, and someone in the US, someone in India. Like, it's going to be totally value based, right? Gone are the days where they put too much premium on a developer from Silicon Valley, right? That trend is really, really it's coming down. It's not a thing again. If I say I'm living in San Francisco and I'm a software engineer, for example, and somebody says I'm living in Lagos and I'm a software engineer of X amount of years, the only thing that differentiates you guys is what can you put on the table, all right? And then that's how you are being valued. I think that's going to be much more what we'll see in the coming days and the coming years. And so what I'm saying is your location doesn't necessarily matter, with your opportunities, you as a software engineer or as a data engineer, as a product manager, as a, whatever you are doing. It's all about the value, right? The kind of projects you worked on, the kind of products you worked in. Yeah, thanks to a few companies like Andela, TalentFactory, and all that stuff. Andela actually started before COVID, and then COVID really made them, blow out. They already created infrastructure, had software engineers and all that stuff. And then when COVID happened and people in the US really in their software engineers, people in Asia in their software engineers, and Europe, they could sell out African talents and then, make a premium on that arbitrage, and all that stuff. And then after COVID, it became a trend where, yeah, if I really want to get good people, I don't necessarily have to find it wherever I am. I can find it globally, and then that works. Okay. So it will be truly global. And then finally, my final point on this is the future of tech jobs is whatever you decide it to be. Okay. And this is my most important point, actually. We can see trends. We saw back in the 2000s, there were trends, that, things are going to be like this, things are going to be like this, things are going to be like this, until boom, Mark Zuckerberg and his friends invented social media. All right. We never saw that coming. Okay. We saw trends that uh, when it comes to trade, we're going to have better ships, better things, where people would be able to order things from like China. They'll come in like shorter days and all that stuff. But then guess what? Amazon built e-commerce. Basically, they own e-commerce. Like Amazon e-commerce, that's what you're talking about. You say e-commerce, I mean Amazon. They invented e-commerce from scratch. They started by selling books around the world, and then before you know, it became every other thing. And then they built a logistic pipeline out of it. And then you know what? They defined e-commerce. All right. Nobody knew what, AI was how many years ago, right? But then somebody came out of the blues and, defined it and said, these are the rules, this is AI, and this is what it does. And then it's changing the world, right? So where I'm going to is that you can change the world by just deciding what the next, big thing in tech is going to be, I believe it's people who are committed to saying, I want to define, or I believe this is how things are supposed to be. Those people are the ones that eventually dictate what things are going to be. Okay. So my most important point is I dare someone here to build it. So what's actually what is the future of tech jobs? Like, I'm going to build it, I don't know what it's going to be, or I actually have a glimpse of what I think it should be, and then I'm going out there to build it. Okay, you can build it, I can build it, everyone on this call can build it. And so dare to dream big, dare to you're not too late to the party. I know some of you would think, oh, this is 2025 and I'm like X amount of years old, and maybe what was I doing in my life and all that. So you're not late to the party, trust me. Okay. There are people who started the journey way later, and then they've changed the world. Okay. So please dare to learn, dare to keep learning, right? That is one of the most important things in your step of getting to build what the future of jobs are going to, or tech jobs are going to be like. Yeah, there to learn, there to network, there to, don't stop learning. I think learning is the most important thing. Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. Equip yourself with multiple skills. Don't be that person that is only good at one thing, right? Try to be good at one, two, three things. Be really, really valuable so that wherever you land, even if you're not doing this one, you have something to do, right? You are always going to have value to give. Yeah, and that is it from me. Thank you. Congratulations on completing your bootcamp, completing your first bootcamp, or maybe I would say some of you might not be your first bootcamp this year, but completing this bootcamp, if you have 2 or 3 more to go down the line this same year, please, I encourage you to do it, get certifications, and and all that good stuff. And yeah, see you at the top. Bye.
Thank you very much. That was very insightful. Please let him know in the chat because we all can't speak. That was very, very helpful session. Let us know what your key takeaways from it, because you need to take notes of what you're going to apply from all that he has been dishing out. Thank you very much, Francis. Also, while you're here, ensure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have lots of gems that you can also go back and rewatch. There's a session that Francis has also taken previously that was really helpful. You can go back, you can watch this in channel and get valuable information. Also follow Talent Factory social media handles. All right, so without further ado, so we do not keep us here longer than necessary, we're going to move on to the next conversation, which is what is next, right? You have covered your fundamental training. What does the future look like for you, and how does Talents Factory fit into this conversation? So we're going to have Olawale Bernard additional, and he's going to come on now. Hi, Olawale.
All right, good evening.
Evening.
So thank you very much, Francis, for that insightful speech. So one thing I would like to talk about quickly before I move on is I just want to sit on what's on his last note before I move on, which is learning. For some of us that started in the tech industry about I think I'm close to 10 years also now. We started pretty rough, meaning there was not much mentorship and the likes to help us move fast. We literally had to dig by ourselves, learning here and there. And I think it's quite a good thing for most people just coming into tech, that they have people who have gone through that path before and are willing to share their knowledge and mentor new people to become tech professionals as quickly as possible. Before I could beat my chest and say I'm confident enough to call myself a tech bro, I think it took me about 5 years. But then with things like what Talent Factory, with what Talent Factory is offering, you can actually make that happen within 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, depending on how committed and how dedicated you are, because these are people that have gone through what you're about to start, or maybe what you have started now, and making that journey a lot shorter for you by giving you some of the things that they didn't have then and what they think will be quite useful to you. Now, I'm talking about the next steps from here. Again, for those who might not know me before, I'm head of marketing at TalentsFactory. So I'm going to show you quickly a few things that we have in stock for you, for those of you that completed the bootcamp, and also maybe some of your friends that are on this call. So in moving on from here, what do you have to do basically? There are two programs actually that we have. But first, for just for the sake of it, let me just go through some of the programs that we have at Talent Factory, then give you an idea of what the journey would look like moving forward. I believe you've already touched on a few of the courses that we have. Some of you were in some of our different schools. But then there are two major parts that we have for you presently that you can push through on whatever it is you started with. First, there is our diploma programs, and under the diploma programs, which is about a year program, we have various schools in Talent Factory, the School of Engineering that takes you through courses in back-end engineering, front-end engineering, cloud engineering, cybersecurity, and the likes. We have School of Data, where you go through things around data science, data analytics, big data engineering, business intelligence, and the likes. We have the School of Product Management, Product Design, then School of Business, where you learn things around sales, digital marketing, and then the School of Art, where you learn things around motion graphics and graphic design. But then I wouldn't want to dwell on that. I'll just go straight to two major programs that we have, which is the diploma, like I first mentioned, and then the talents primer. What it entails, how long is the length, and what's the cost implication. Trust me, the cost implication is probably the least of what you should worry about, because there is no cost that you can attach to the amount or that what you are investing into your future. But just to quickly touch through it, sorry, one second, trying to, okay. All right. So yeah, we have the diploma program, the 1 year diploma program, which is starting from the beginning of March. This is for beginners and mid-level. I think anyone who has gone through our bootcamp can boast to be a beginner or even a mid-level, depending on if this is your first bootcamp or you've been in different bootcamp before. So this diploma program is really going to take you from all the theoretical knowledge you have into real world application, where you begin to build things. So we'll split this into a 6 months of theory, building your strong foundation, building on what you have already, and then 6 months of practical, where you apply your knowledge to real world projects. Trust me, in the tech ecosystem, what you have to show as work that you can do is what really matters most. Like Adu Lawrence mentioned, most people wouldn't ask for your certificate. They will ask for what you can do. So imagine 6 months that you're grinding and building stuff that you can actually show to people anywhere in the world that this is what I can actually build. It's so you've gone beyond this is what I know. It's now more of this is what I do. So the 1 year diploma is what actually puts you in that position to be able to go out there and do real world projects and present to potential employers. In fact, you can start building stuff for yourself from there. So this is for beginners with no prior experience or mid-level learners like you who have attended our bootcamp and you're looking to solidify your experience. So we'd advise you to enroll as quickly as possible, because there's a 50% discount for those who are on this call, be it that you joined the bootcamp already, or you are just visiting, or you just joined this program, maybe invited by a friend. The numbers on this banner, you can actually call to chat and find out more, or send an email to hello@talentfactory.io. The second one that I have here is one second, please. Is the talents primer. And this is actually for those who want to jumpstart their career in tech, in the tech ecosystem. So for Talent Primer, sorry. Okay. So for the Talents Primer, it's actually a 3 month program, the unlike the diploma. This is a 3 month program, yeah, but this is majorly focused on practical and real world projects for you to gain the industry relevant experience. So imagine you're using the next 3 months to actually build a portfolio, yeah, because you will having you having real world experience. Sorry, you have your hands laid on live projects that you can actually present and build your portfolio around. Yeah. So this is also starting by March. But if you can register as quickly as possible, you have a 50% discount to go through that. Also, if you need more information, please feel free to reach out to the numbers on this banner or send an email to hello@talentsfactory.io. I believe there are some of my colleagues on this call also that you can chat with if you need to ask any questions. And also feel free to reach out to me if you need more details around this. Um, if you would need clarity on the path to follow after now, you can also send an email and we'll be happy to help you through that. I think that's, if you ask me, where do I go for those who have completed Bootcamp, where do I go from here? You have two options to actually follow through on: 3 months practical real life projects, or 1 year diploma that you go full-fledged into whatever career path you decide to choose. And trust me, you're in the right hands. It's not just teaching, there's also mentorship. Then there are a lot of other things that will also come bringing up in terms of mock interviews and all of that. That's going to help you prepare and actually be ready to get your first job in the tech ecosystem. I think that will be all I have for now. Thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you very much, Olawale. Please put your hands together for him. He leads marketing and he's the person in charge of ensuring that our product is communicated the right way to you people, the special ones that actually need Talent Factory. So like he said, do not hesitate to reach out via Telegram and also our contact details on the flyer. So if you need more information, you need some form of guidance to make decisions for your next steps, the team is always available to answer your questions and provide the support that you need. Okay, so we will be moving on to Q&A, and I'd like us to start dropping our questions in the chat. What questions do you have? What areas do you need more clarification in? Do you have specific questions for some of our speakers? The founder is also on the call, so if you have some questions for him as well, now is the time. So I'll give us like a minute or two, put our thoughts together and bring the questions in. So while we wait for the question, Lawrence, would you like to give us any like further information while we wait for questions to come in?
All right. Well, I think mostly majority of the information has been passed, and maybe whatever I'll be saying now might just be a repetition of what has been said already. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll be expecting your questions. If you have any, you can ask, and we are happy to answer all your questions. Yeah, so why that is happening, we can just be talking a bit about Talent Factory and the future, basically. Yeah, so like I mentioned the other time, we believe in being ready for the future, right? So personally, it's a principle I live by. I always believe in being ready for the future. I don't believe in getting there before you figure things out. in terms of opportunities. I don't believe as young persons, we should just sit and wait for an opportunity to come before we start trying to figure out what to do, right? So we can actually get ready and be prepared for opportunities. And when those opportunities come, we just ride straight into it and we're able to deliver our best, right? So our Talent Factory is what we do, just like it has been said over and over. And we're happy to have everybody here. We're happy to have everybody in the community. I mentioned earlier that it's not just a platform for you to come, learn, and go, but we're building a community of talent. We're building a community of talent, and we invite you to be part of this community if you are not part already, and be active in this community. So if you have questions, you have challenges as you grow in this whatever career path you've chosen, we have experts in the community, we have learners, our community is made up of different persons, people at different levels. And one interesting thing about growing as a talent is you can't do it all by yourself. Like Bernard mentioned when he was speaking, it takes a lot of time for you to be able to grow all by yourself if you don't have someone helping you, holding your hand and guiding you through, right? So it's one of the things we do at Talent Factory, helping people to become their best in the shortest possible time. There's no time to waste anymore. Nobody have that time to take 5 years to learn tech. Back in the day, you could do something with just a little that you have. If you just know, back then, right, when things were still evolving, even if you just know HTML and CSS, you can design some website for people and you can get paid for that, for just knowing HTML and CSS. But the game has changed, right? So, all right, the game has changed. It will be difficult for you to make anything reasonable out of just knowing HTML and CSS. And you have to know a lot. In fact, today, people say that people always promote like full stack engineering because most companies, when they're hiring, they are looking for people who will deliver a lot, right? So cutting down budgets and all that. So if you are just a front-end engineer, yeah, you get jobs, but some opportunities are open to majorly full stack, people who can do both front end and back end. So it means that you need to be able to settle down to learn a lot, right? And if you are doing that on your own, it's going to take you a lot of time to be able to be an expert, right? But with having people, when you have people like we have a Talent Factory community, you'll be able to move faster, and you discover that within the shortest possible time, you are able to become an expert, you're able to do a lot, right? So be part of this community and be active in the community, make friends, have people you can interact with, those who are ahead of you, those who are your seniors, those who are at the same level with you, and those who are more like your juniors, those you can mentor as well, right? So mentorship is something we take important at Talent Factory. So even as you're learning, you can actually start mentoring people. You can find someone to mentor. That's the best way to learn actually, right? So what you learn, you can pass the knowledge to the next person, right? Make an impact, not just by working on projects, but by also transferring the knowledge to other persons that need it, right? Yeah, so understand that questions have come in, so we can begin to take those questions.
All right, so I will be reading out the questions and we'll take them one by one. All right, so the first question is on the cost. They're asking to clarify on how much the program costs. So I think we should answer that, or you could answer that alongside the registration deadline. How long do they have to register?
Okay. Okay, yeah. So let me start with the cost. So for the cost, we mentioned two programs. We have the diploma program, which runs for 1 year. And we have the Talent Primer, which is for 3 months. And of course, I think I earlier saw someone ask a question on Telegram if you have to go through Talent Primer before diploma. You can choose any of these. You can choose to go with Talent Primer or diploma, right? So whichever one fits your schedule, you can choose any of it. So if you are ready to learn for 1 year, which for me is better because you get like better at whatever you are learning within 1 year. So the way we structure it is we have 6 months of theoretical knowledge. So you get hands-on, like get to know a lot about whatever you are learning, right? And then this remaining 6 months is for internship, doing practical stuff, building projects. And by the time you are done, that 1 year, you're ready like to pick up on any job and whatever opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to you'll be ready for it, right? So yeah, so for the diploma, it's the cost for that is 100,000 naira for those in Nigeria and $100 for those outside Nigeria, right? So that's the cost for diploma. However, we have different payment models. We have it's actually okay, let me say it's actually supposed to be more than that, but for this period, we are doing a 50% discount, just like head of marketing mentioned. So we are doing a 50% discount. So it's 100,000 naira, and we have different payment models to enable different persons, no matter what your financial state is, you'll be able to learn. So money is not the problem or an excuse for you not to be able to learn. So we have a monthly payment system where you can decide to go with a monthly payment plan. So if you are going the monthly payment plan, you have to pay 10,000 naira monthly, right, as the tuition fee to learn. That's if you are, yeah, for diploma, right? So 10,000 naira monthly, and you can do quarterly. Quarterly is 27,500 for each quarter for the diploma. Why Talent Primer is 3 months. So for those who may not be able to go through a 1 year training program, you can go with a 3 months, that's the Talent Primer. And the cost for that is just 25,000 naira. So you are paying 25,000 naira to learn for 3 months. Yeah, so in terms of cost, that's it. And for deadline, we basically have 2 weeks to be able to register for these trainings. Because we are starting in March, that's next month. So yeah, you have basically 2 weeks to be able to register. After that, we close the portal and we process admissions, and yeah, people begin to learn. So that's the plan.
All right, thank you. So Kimati is asking that they're currently schooling and have tight schedule. Can they apply for the 3 months training later in the year? Is application all year round?
Okay. Yeah, so we are going to have different cohorts. So the first cohort will start in March, but we are going to announce subsequent cohorts as well within the year, right? So yeah, you can still apply later in the year. That's if you can't make it this period for whatever reason. However, our training, if you have gone through our bootcamp, you see that our training is structured to accommodate your schedule, whether you're in school or working or whatever you are doing. Our trainings are like we hold live classes, and they are mostly towards evening time, where we know that you have closed from work or from your classes, so you'll be able to learn. So the best time to learn is actually now, because when you keep postponing, you say, let me do it later, before you know it, the year is up, and you discover that 2025 has come and gone and you didn't learn anything. So I believe that whatever you're in school, you are working, I believe that the time to start is now. So we shouldn't accommodate, or we shouldn't give excuses, right? So, but however, if you have a reason for not to start now, we still have other opportunities that will come up within the year for you to be able to enroll.
All right, thank you. So let's see. Someone is asking if they need laptop for this training. I think the answer is yes.
Yes, of course you do. You do, because at TalentsFactory, we are not just giving you theoretical knowledge. we get you to do the work, right? So in fact, the remaining for diploma, 6 months is dedicated to you working on practical projects. So there's no way you'll be efficient if you don't have a laptop. So yeah, laptop is a requirement, very important requirement.
Okay, so I think the last question is follow-up on the cost. Someone is saying that when you were talking about the 3 months bootcamp, you only said the price in Naira. So how much is it for international applicants?
Oh yeah, so for the international applicants, it's $25. So we have currently you can actually pay in for Ghanaians and Kenyans, you can pay in your local currency, the equivalence of $25 basically, right? So but those outside these countries, you have to pay in dollars, but it's $25 and $100 for diploma. And let me just add as well that there's a registration fee of 5,000 naira or $5 for each of these programs. So for Talent Primer and diploma, whichever one you are going with to register, there's a registration fee of 5,000 naira as well, aside the tuition fee.
All right. So Jennifer is asking, I think you might have answered this, but yeah, she's asking the 50% discount that was announced on the social media pages, if this applies to the diploma program as well, or only the primer.
Okay, can you go over it again? I think I couldn't get you.
Oh, okay. So she's asking the 50% discount that is available on the primer for 3 months. Is that one also applicable to diploma for those that want to register for diploma?
Yeah. It's both for diploma and talent primer. And just to add as well that the prices we have mentioned are because of the 50% discount, so that someone doesn't register and expect to pay half of 25,000 naira, right? So it's supposed to be 50,000 naira, but you're paying 25 because there's a 50% discount, right, for this period. And also it's supposed to be 200,000 naira or $200, but you're paying 100 because of the 50% discount. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that answers it.
Okay.
Someone is saying the $100 when converted is more than 100,000 naira. This localized for Nigerians, surprising. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was the last question. And thank you very much to you all for joining us today. The important information is that due to your hard work, joining the base sessions for the past 2 weeks, you will be getting certificate of participation in a week's time. So the TalentsFactory team is going to reach out to you via emails and send this to you. Now, a questionnaire is going to be sent to the Telegram channels like Mr. Bernard. Kindly fill in those questionnaires. They are very helpful to the team. We love your feedback. We want to hear from you. How was your experience? What went well? What didn't go well? So that we'll keep improving and make things better for the program. All right, so thank you very much. It's been a beautiful 1 hour with you today. Remember that you can keep reaching out to the Talent Factory team via Telegram, our emails, and our contact number. Follow our social pages for any new announcements or anything that we want to communicate with you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And we will be excited to have you on board for our very first cohort next month. Thank you very much and do have a lovely evening.
Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you, Sophia.
Yeah, thanks, Sophia.
Thank you.